My name is Ivar Flaten. I'm 66 years old now, and I'm well into my second year of bonus time. The thing is, 1.5 years ago, I was going to my regular spinning training with friends, as I normally do 3 times a week. But that morning, I felt dizzy afterwards. And coming up to the wardrobes, I felt increasingly ill. And luckily my friends saw it and they called the ambulance. It came quickly, and they saw immediately that I was suffering from a heart attack. So they called a new ambulance, a bigger one, to take me into the central hospital of Oslo to fix me. They carried me down the stairs into the lobby to take me to the ambulance, but I fainted. My heart stopped, and I died. They put me on the floor quickly and started working on me with a heart massage. Heavily, intensely. My friends in the lobby shocked, of course, because of the situation and the crisis, but also in awe because of the force they used. But it didn't function. Luckily, again, they had a heart starting machine. And they shocked me. And the heart started again, as you understand, because I'm here. Afterwards, quite a few have asked me, Ivar, did you see anything on the other side? Did you hear anything? Probably not that strange, because after all, I'm a priest in the Church of Norway, and if any, I might be one of the experts in these things, right? Knowing what is on the other side about heaven and all that I've been preaching about. But being there and coming back to report, that's something. Heaven and death, life in itself is a mystery, and we've been pondering about it from the dawn of humankind, I think. But what did I see? And yes, I have a message for you. So hang on. That morning, the 13th of September in 2019, I was just starting to have the beginning of the 10th edition of the Drammen Sacred Music Festival. I'm the proud founding director of that festival and have been working so hard for weeks and months to make it happen with friends and colleagues. But there I was, flat, recovering from my heart attack, unable to take part in it. But it happened, and it was a big success. But why a festival? Why a Drammen Sacred Music Festival? Our town is a small town of 100,000 inhabitants, not far from Oslo, Norway. But we live here, people with their roots from 150 different nations. And it's important that we learn to know about each other. And we thought the festival would be a good tool to sit together and enjoy each other's music, listen to the stories, the pictures, exhibitions, seminars, all focused on this, the community cohesion. And this is what I'm going to tell you about. The work through 15 years of faith dialogue and community cohesion. I'm born and raised in mid-Norway, in a mountain town called Oppdal, in a Christian family. My parents much into music in church, and also my grandparents very active in the lay Christian work in a praying house. My grandmother, strict, very occupied in learning us children about our faith, the songs, the stories from the Bible, and she was trying to help us to stay on what she would call the narrow path to heaven. And I tell you, this path is full of no's and don'ts. Don't go to the cinema, don't read secular books, don't play cards, don't go to the dance hall, and the list goes on. She was a loving person, but strict in these things. And I could not get my head around the fact that I had to stay away from my friends. you need to stay with your friends to learn what it's about to be a young man and know about life. So I had to get around this, partly turning my back to what she said. But, you know, the apple do not fall far from the tree. And this applies to me also. So, eventually I started theological education in Oslo, but still much occupied on this dilemma. How is it that our small part of the Lutheran faith, North European version, should be the one and only? Is it even possible to think that? So, eventually I quit theology and pursued other careers in computing, in education and also in administration, until reaching the age of 50, when I thought maybe now is the time to go back to engage in this existential question within the church. So I was ordained in 2006. That was a special year because of the drawings of the Prophet Muhammad that had spurred a lot of conflict and unrest in Muslim countries. We saw the pictures of burning flags, angry mobs because of this. And this was what met me. That was my first year in priesthood. In Fjell, a small part of Drammen, where a lot of immigrants lived. Luckily, because they were wise and invited me to talk about what we could do together, that we did not experience the same thing in our neighborhood, unrest, violence, ripping our community apart. That was the first beginning of what we now have as Drammen Faith Forum. And we were greatly inspired from Leicester, Mid-England, and also other similar activities around in Norway and other countries. So, how do you live in this community? Of course, I was mainly a priest. So I had to take care of my community, my congregation. Being with them in childbirth, in confirmation, in marriages, in funerals. And for me, personally, it's been most rewarding, I must say, to be with the families invited when a dear one has passed away. Sharing the story, listening to what the life has been about, learning about our town's history that way also, but first and foremost about their lives, the differences in their life. And hundreds of these sermons and talk have learned me and made me see the differences, the spectrum of varieties within this certain faith group. Because we're so differently attached to our faith, to our culture, and to the way of life. Difference is the normal thing. You know it. Within the family, we're so different. Both when it comes to faith, of course, but also what we do and what we like, how our life is in all its challenges and things. And that is why we thought it's helpful for us to form the Drammen Sacred Music Festival, to help each other see and learn and understand the differences. Because clearly you could use the Wikipedia or Google and read about Jainism or Islam or Christianity or whatever you like, and you should do it. It's interesting. And for me, of course, as a theologian, that's also very interesting to do, and I do it. I like it. I read about the history, and we discuss it between faith community leaders. But for people, most people, it's about life. And you can read and you can understand in your head maybe what a thing is, but meeting people, understanding how people live, that's the real thing. And that is, in my view, dialogue. To see and feel and understand by stories and lives lived. And that's what's happening in the festival. And also in our other kinds of faith work, faith community and dialogue work. I was sitting in my house in 2011, in July. And I must say, I often sit in front of the television enjoying Tour de France. I love cycling, and amazed what people can do on the bike, climbing mountains and racing down mountainsides. But I was interrupted by news coming in from Oslo. A bomb has exploded, ripping house apart and killing people. And rumors started flowing. This has to be an Islamic terror attack. And then from Utøya, shooting in a youth camp, rifle shots heard. And then the phone rang. It was my friend Sukwinder calling from the Sikh community. Earnest, stern, still shattered by the explosion because his family ran an eye clinic close to the parliament in central Oslo. But not only that, traveling home, he felt people looking at him in his turban. Who are you? Are you part of the enemy? You're not one of us. So, we agreed to convene our faith forum to discuss what to do. And the day after again, Sunday the 24th, we summoned our congregations on the pedestrian bridge of Ypsilon in Drammen to show our unity, to be together with candles and roses, showing unity in our differences from the mosque, from the temple, from the Gurdwara, from the churches and humanists all together, being there together, appalled, shocked and sad because of the hideous thing that our homegrown Norwegian terrorist had done 2 days before. So we must choose. We must choose between faith and, well, faith about fear and anger on the one side, and on the other side, friendship. Because some people get so consumed in their idea based in religion or ideology that they could do anything, going to any extent, doing what they feel as being in defense of the faith of the country or what it is. Feeling that somebody is going to overrun us, take over, take our faith and culture away. And that was what happened the 22nd of July, and it happens over and over again, sadly. We have to think about our identities. Who am I? I'm a father. I'm a grandfather even. I'm a husband. I'm a professional, and I'm also a believer, a Christian. And this goes for all. You're connected to some faith, tradition, and culture, but you're still a human being, having all these basic roles in life, in different conditions, and living different lives, but still sharing the same basic conditions of life. So, what can we do? We have to look each other in the eye, reassuring, I'm here, we're here together to help each other live this complex life that we have. And the message, what did I learn that morning, my second birthday? The first thing, I looked up into a smiling face, calling my name, so happy that she had saved a life, my life. And then the doctors and the health system, fixing my heart and helping me come up to my feet to continue my life. And then friends and family, friends from all faiths and none visiting, strengthening our relations and our friendships. We have to be here together. And I'm so happy that I'm able to continue. But I'm also very curious as what happens when I die next.